Hello, stars. Happy Samhain season to you all. I'm coming here from my sun porch in my new apartment, and I want to start talking about my own personal path. And in the next few videos, I'm taking a wildly different direction. Up until now, I've been mostly talking about practical magic, things that are more general, and I haven't really focused on my personal path. So I'm going to start sharing that with you today. And my path is based on Hermetics, chaos magic, and some things that I've discovered for myself along the way. I use a 7 elemental system instead of a 4 elemental system or 5 elemental system. My system is, the 4 basic elements plus 3 elements of spirit. And I also interpret the elements slightly different than they have been interpreted classically. And I have my own point of view on things, and I just want to kind of begin by sharing that with you today. Eventually, I want to create a school around my philosophy, my occult philosophy, and my version of the craft so that maybe other people can learn from what I've learned and be able to apply it in their own lives in one way or another. Um, Please understand that this is a work in progress. I am always growing and evolving. And although I've been doing, this particular path for 18 years, 21 years overall practicing witchcraft, um, it is still evolving. It is still growing. It is still changing. As I deepen my understanding, what I share about it will be deeper and more fleshed out. I've got some notes here. So pardon me if I look down every once in a while. I want to look at the camera, not at my notes. There we go. All right. Um, I in addition to hermetics and chaos magic, I also have an animistic approach. Everything has a spirit. From the big, broad universe and having a spirit, a consciousness, which I call the all, um, to each and every bit of matter, from a crystal to a grain of sand or the worm crawling through the dirt. A place, a city, all of these things have a spirit for me. And I try to keep that in mind as I interact with these beings on a magical level. As I said, my 7 elemental system uses the 4 classic elements from alchemy and Hermeticism and divides the 5th spirit or ether into 3 elements of its own. I consider this a balanced path. In Hermetics, you have the 7 Hermetic laws. In classic occultism, you have the 7 planets. Even though there are obviously more planets, we mostly work with the planets that correspond to our days of the week. There is a 7 chakra system that most Westerners are most familiar with. It is not the original system that the Hindus practice, or in their various expressions of that. But as a Westerner, that is the system that I am most familiar with. I'm going to start by talking about the elements that we are most familiar with, the physical elements, and then expand to the spirit elements from there. First, of course, we have the element of earth. The element of earth is the physical plane which you find yourself. It is the ground beneath your feet. It is the physical matter. It is what you can touch physically that is solid. It is the gravity that holds you down to the earth. So it's grounding. It is slow to change, and its energy is very nourishing and nurturing and very goddessy, like the mother, matter, mother, come from the same root word. It's about potential, and it's the stage upon which we act. Like Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage. The affirmation that I use to align myself with the element of earth is, I am born onto the physical plane and receive its abundance with gratitude. The earth supports us. It nourishes us, provides us with food and shelter. It's the ground upon which we stand. It's the physical solid matter which makes up our bodies, and it is where our bodies return when we die. The second element is the element of air, as you might already know. It's the element upon which we depend for our breath. When we are born, we announce our arrival onto the planet Earth by taking a deep breath as a baby and letting out a mighty scream or a cry or a wail. But it announces, here we are, here I am, I've been born, and it communicates for us through our breath and through our speech. The affirmation for air is, I breathe in the power of my will and speak it into being. Air surrounds us. It's dynamic and causes changes to occur. And gases are formed from stars before any other state of matter. We have oxygen to live. Our planet breathes through the trees. We communicate through the sounds created that are carried and vibrated on the air. The next element is fire. Fire is heat and light from the sun. And it is what sustains us and what helps us to grow from the earth. It moves our oceans and it moves our winds. It is transforming and destructive, and it is short-lived. It is the element of rapid change, from which it is the great destroyer, and it is also a creative force. The affirmation for fire is, by fire I consume and transform all that binds me. Through fire, humankind has a capability of great transformation and destruction. We use fire for warmth and to clear away obstacles, and to transform raw materials from the earth into a more usable form, such as with our food, making tools, and even for healing our bodies, such as radiation or keeping the body warm. As we heal, we get a fever when we have an infection. Water is the cleansing element. Through water, our bodies are not just inert matter, but carry an electrical charge. Water moves through solid matter when other elements cannot. The affirmation for water is, by water I am cleansed of all. And am nourished and renewed. Sorry for that little pause there. I got lost because I had a little scratch out. Not perfect. Water lubricates and cools the other elements. It balances the physical plane and nourishes and nurtures us with its properties. It cleanses us and renews us. Now to move on to the spirit elements. The first spirit element is the element of life. Life is the first element of spirit. It is the animating force that separates inert matter from living matter. Life element is about growth, evolution, replication, aka fertility. It is the element of pure instinct. You're not thinking on that level. You're not aware on that level. You move and you act through instinct on the element of life. its affirmation is, by life, I live, grow, and evolve within the physical matrix of reality. The next spirit element is the mind. Mind is consciousness. It exists beyond the realm of the physical. It's always also grounded in the physical, but it manifests through life forms in the physical plane. But it also exists independently of the physical through spiritual consciousnesses that are beyond life forms. There are states of being that are beyond just the physical, and this is where the mind inhabits as an element. Non-physical beings can exist in the realm of the mind, and it's the element from which merges our intelligence and awareness. Its affirmation is, by mind, I consciously perceive reality, and through awareness, I choose my destiny. Within the mind element exists the ego. It is our idea of selfhood, of choice, and self-determination. It is also the element from which knowledge and ideas are formed. So any kind of inspiration that you receive, or anything that is a new thing, a new invention, comes from the element of mind first. The final element is mysterious, and I refer to this element as chaos. By chaos, I don't mean just randomness. I mean, that's a part of it, but that's not what chaos actually means. Chaos is the void, the nothingness of potential. It is everything and nothing at the same time. It's the element of pure potential and possibility where other elements emerge from. It is emptiness. It is beyond reason and beyond instinct. The affirmation is, by chaos, I draw upon the infinite void and crystallize my will into being. Chaos is the purest expression of the universe. It is what makes magic possible. It is the giant question of the all, the God spirit of the universe itself. From this element, all other possible manifestations within the universe are formed. That's all I had to have for you today. It's a little jumping off point, and I hope it is understandable to you. If you have any questions, please comment in the comments below. I am more than happy to do more videos about this subject. I plan on doing more videos about this subject, and I want to help explain to you what this means to me, and maybe it's something that can enrich your life as well as it has mine. I intend to share some rituals, magical techniques, and I want to dive deeper into what this path means to me and how I apply it in my life and my magical workings. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like, share, visit my website, www.crystalstarwitchery.com. I have services, I have a blog, I have an Etsy shop, although there's not much there now. There's going to be so much more in the coming weeks. And I really am so excited to finally share this with you. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye now.